kingdom principle, and that is the principle of thanksgiving. The principle of thanksgiving is multiplication. The principle of thanksgiving is multiplication. What do you mean by that, preacher? I'm glad you asked. If you look with me in the book of John, chapter 6, verse number 1, I'm going to jump around. I'm not going to read all of it to you because I want you just to catch these few points. We find a story where Jesus has been out preaching. They've been following him for days. They've been taking his word. They've been getting fed on it. And they get to a place where they're out there now and everybody's hungry. And Jesus said, I need to feed these people. And his disciples said, you ain't got no food to feed them. But there's a little boy out here, and this little boy got 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And Jesus said, bring it to him. So you can't feed all these people. There's at least 5,000 people out here. You can't feed them on 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. I like how the Bible says fishes. 2 fishes, that's not modern English, but we'll take the King James with it. In John chapter 6, verse 11, check this out. And Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were sitting down. And they did the same of the fishes as much as they could, or would. Not could, but would. Now you drop down to verse 13. After everybody had been fed, well, let's go back to 12. When they were all filled, he said to his disciples, gather up the fragments that remain. Here's Jesus, but Jesus is in flesh, but yet Jesus said, I want you to walk through that verse 11 with me one more time. He took the loaves, and when he gave thanks, he distributed. Here's what I believe happened. Jesus had that basket. It had 5 loaves in it and 2 fish, and I think this is what happened. That Jesus reached in there and pulled up one of those 5 loaves. He's got 12 disciples. And he's only got 5 loaves. So what's he got to do? He's got to break some off. What did verse 11 say? Look at verse 11. And Jesus took the loaves. When he gave thanks, he distributed. He broke them up. And he gave Peter, Andrew, James, John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, Bartholomew. He gives all 12 of them. He takes these 5 loaves and breaks it up. And then the Bible said that he went through the effort and did the same thing with the fish. I don't know how he broke the fish up. I don't know if he had a fork. I don't know if he had a fillet knife or what he had. But he had something, and he divided that up amongst them. And he said, now you take what I put in your basket and you go feed until you run out. And the Bible said that Jesus knew they wasn't going to run out, because in the next verse, he said, gather up the fragments that remain. There was more than enough. In verse 13, therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with the fragments. There was enough left over that there were 12 baskets filled. There was enough, there was more than enough to meet the need. Are you hearing what I'm saying? With 5 barley loaves which remained over and above unto them that had eaten, there was more than enough. The little boy had enough food to take back home to his mama and feed some more people and have another good fish fry off of that. Here's what I want you to understand. The Bible said that Jesus took it, gave thanks for it, and then distributed. What you give thanks for will multiply, period.